All right, hey everybody, this is Nathan with The Bold Adventure. If you are watching this video, that means you are looking for a little bit of extra training from training camp. Maybe you weren't able to attend. Um, Maybe you were, you just are looking for a tad bit more instruction or a refresher before you head out for the Bold Adventure. So this video is really for you. Uh, what we'll go over in this video, hopefully it's no longer than an hour, but what we'll go over is the schedule, and what we do. This is kind of just looking at the schedule for training camp specifically. But what we do at training camp is try to get in the routine of our daily lives while we're out on the adventure. So we'll look at that a little bit more in depth here. We'll also go over the expectations that we have for our adventurers on the trip. We'll look at the different cultural expectations that people may have, and just the expectations that are set by Mission Discovery, our parent organization. And then we'll look at some goal setting techniques here at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's just dive right in here. All right, at 7 o'clock in the morning, we'll wake up every day. And this is just for training camp. So generally, every place on the Bold Adventure looks different. The schedule will look more lenient in places like maybe Jamaica or Haiti. Maybe they'll look a little bit more rigid in other places. But in general, the kind of idea here is that we get in some sort of groove, some sort of routine for everyday life while we are in the places that we serve. So, for an example, 7 o'clock would be wake up time. At 7:30, you would do a group devo. So you'd get together and you kind of set your intentions for the day. Somebody from your team will have a devo prepared. Maybe it's something that God's been laying on their heart for a long time. Maybe it's just for that day. Um, but somebody will have a devo prepared, and it could be you, and you would just continue doing that every day, where you would meet in the mornings at 7:30 just to kind of focus each other on the Word of God and what God's doing with your team or in that specific team member. After that, you'd do breakfast together. After breakfast, you'd clean up. And then you would do some, I call it worship or soak time, just some time to throw on some music, worship music, and just sit and alone focus on what God has for you that day. And we do that for an hour at training camp. Again, that could be different in each location. We really want that to happen every day. Sometimes our partners might have something for you right off the bat. So just be prepared to be flexible in all of this morning devo and worship and soak time and breakfast. It is super important that you take time out to be with God. Uh, but it's also important that we take time to focus on our partners and what they need. So just keep that in mind for the mornings, because like I said, every place is going to look different. Um, the morning session, that's not so much for the bold adventure while you're out, but during training camp, that's when we kind of learn what we're learning in the morning, whatever that may be. We'll have a lunchtime around 12 noon every day, clean up after lunch. Uh, then, of course, afternoon session, that's not really anything for the bold adventure while you're out, but during training camp, that's another session that we have. So during those times, you'll probably be working, or if you're in Guatemala and language school, you may be learning Spanish or something like that. But you'll be doing your daily activities and your whatever our partners have for you during the day. And then if you're in the kitchen while you're out on the bold adventure, you come back and prep for dinner and do dinner stuff. And then at night, it's important, as you look through here, clean up, 7 o'clock evening session. Again, if you're out on the bold adventure, you're not really looking at an evening session. You're more looking to serve the partners. But at the end of the day, around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, or maybe even earlier, you would get together with your team and you'd kind of debrief with each other. There's at 8:30, I have it listed in here as spiritual formation. The same kind of thing. Just get together and talk about the day. There may be some discipleship curriculum that the leader has prepared that you'll go over. But more than that, this is a time when you kind of focus on each other and what God is doing in the group itself. Um, some people do this thing where they go around the circle, kind of a campfire time, and just say, "Hey, what's God been doing in your life?" That's a good debrief question. Another one is maybe saying, "This is where I saw God in you today," and point to a specific person and say, "God revealed Himself in you today in this way." Maybe you could just do God sightings, where you say, "This is where I saw God today." Maybe in this student or that student, or in this certain way. God reveals Himself in so many different ways when we're on the mission field. So it could be a time where you just ask those questions and take time out to notice what God is doing in our lives as a team and as individuals, and how is God speaking to each person. That is what debrief time is at the end of the night. All right, let's talk about the training sessions. These are sessions that we went over in training camp. They are sessions that you may not be able, if you weren't at training camp, you may not be able to kind of get a hold of these and understand exactly what's going on. So and hopefully I can find it here, if you look at the website, which is probably where you are right now, you'll see these different on the training resources page. If you have that link, you'll see all the different, some of these are videos and some of these are links to books that you can purchase for further engagement. So, but just basically all you have to do is click on there and go to the video or the book and kind of see the different types of programs we have here and sessions that we learn about. So this is all for extended learning. You can choose to look at these, but you don't have to. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you can't, you can always come back to it. All right, now if I can figure out how to get back. There we are. Here we go. So, in the first session, we talk about problem solving. Serving with a bold adventure will be challenging. Problems are not probable; they are promised. This session explores how to work through them productively. So, if you look over here, I think the problem solving. Let's see, is it in here? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that the problem solving thing is in here, and I'm not sure why, because I thought I put it in here. Let me go check and see what book we use. For problem solving. For that session, let's see. It was The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Now, I know I put show more, maybe? Ha! There it is. All right, so the 5 dysfunctions of a team, that goes along with this lesson of problem solving. So that was our first lesson there, the first night. So if you want to do more research on the problem solving methods that we go through at training camp, you can look at that again on the website there. We won't do anything in this video about learn, serve, tell. That session there on the right that you see. Learn, serve, tell. That is those are 3 pillars that we have taken from Mission Discovery, because they are like the 3 things that we believe in on the mission trip. And learning, I'll just go through them real quick. We go into an area to learn. We're not trying to at first we go in to learn. We're not trying to show them a different way to plant gardens. We want to learn how they plant a garden, in other words, if that makes any sense. We want to learn how that culture operates, and we want to learn how we can fit in their model of operation. And so we go first as learners, and we go as servants. We want to learn and then serve them in the best ways possible. And then we go as storytellers. We tell our stories, we share our stories, and that's kind of how we share what Jesus has done in our lives, and hopefully they can connect with that and kind of see how Jesus is working in their life, because we believe that Jesus is working everywhere already, and all we have to do is just point to Him. Um, and then moving on, we're going to look at the Enneagram there. The Enneagram has been around for ages, and it's a very helpful tool for functionality in a team. Knowing each other's personalities will give us clues of how to work better with and for each other. So, as you can imagine, working in a small group can be stressful. It can, as I said earlier, problems, they're not probable, they're promised. So there's always conflict. Think about a story. Anytime you've watched a movie or read a book or even read the stories in the Bible, there's always this kind of recurring theme of conflict. If there's no conflict, the character can't grow. So any movie you've ever watched, there has to be this element of conflict. And so, um, with that in mind, we know that conflict isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a really, really good thing, and we can learn from it and we can grow from it. So when you're with a small group of people, you're going to experience times of conflict. You're going to not agree all the time with one another. And while the team leader, has the ultimate say in those issues and in those times, you're not always going to be okay with what they may or may not say. So just remember that conflict is a big part of growth. And really, the proper question to ask during those times is, what is God trying to show me here? What is God showing me? In fact, that's a great prayer to wake up to every morning, is just show me. Show me. And so really the Enneagram, what we did there, that session is all about just kind of learning how to work with each other, learning how there are different types of personalities in the world. God created all types of personalities, and that system kind of breaks it down into 9 basic types, and what each one of them focuses on and why they focus on them, what fears they have, what desires they have. So that's a really good model to use. And in fact, if you watch any movies or read stories, a lot of times writers of those storylines will use the Enneagram to build their characters. So if you were to look on the website, the training resource section, there is a video um, by Richard Rohr on the Enneagram. So take a look at that. Uh, and then you'll see over here, moving on, praying and confessing with John Ortberg. John Ortberg wrote this book that I studied in college, so I wanted to include his lessons in this. And the class that I read that book in was called Spiritual Transformation, um, or Spiritual Formation. Really, transformation is a great word too. The idea is that there are practices that we can do every day to transform into a more meaningful life with Christ. And so he wrote this book called The Life You've Always Wanted. And in that book, it breaks down about 8 or 9 different types of spiritual formation, or different types of spiritual disciplines that we can do each day. Um, and from those we gain a deeper walk with Christ. And so, if you look, that each session here, or each day as we walk through, this is Monday's sessions. But if we walk through here, you'll see at the end of each night. I'll just go ahead and click next here. We will end with a John Ortberg video. So we don't have the access to the videos for you. However, we do encourage you to go online and purchase the book. It's called The Life You've Always Wanted by John Ortberg, and it's an incredible book for a deep, meaningful relationship with Christ. So, there's a link on the resources page that uh, for that book, and you can go on to Amazon and buy that if you want to walk down that path. So let's go over Tuesday's sessions here. Tuesday, really in training camp, Tuesday is a day of deep, deep spiritual work, some inner work in our own lives. And so we walk through in the morning, we walk through this session of inner healing. And what we do is this session, I'll read the description here. This session will teach us how to take a deep look inside ourselves and ask God to heal those things that are wounding us. So, thinking about that, there are things in our lives that that harm us, and sometimes we can trace back all the way back to when we were a kid, and kind of, even if we think about the Enneagram that we were learning about just earlier. The Enneagram, basically, a lot of the reason that we act the way we do is based on our fears. And so the fears that we have since we were at a young age can affect our lives today. And so this inner healing, this inner work that we go through on Tuesday, um, has a lot to do with those things, those wounds that have been beneath us for years, or beneath the surface of us for years. And so we kind of go through this session here. We take a lunch break, and then I invite the others to go off alone and to just pray. Just start praying for God to show what uh, what there is, what the types of healing we need are. It can be anywhere from family to to anything, any type of wounds that we have. So Tuesday tends to be a deep and heavy day of sessions and or of inner work. So uh, I am not sure. Let me take a look here. If I put anything on the website as far as I did right here. Let's look at what that is. This is a Deliverance and Inner Healing book. You can buy the Kindle edition here for $12.49. But basically, I'll read the text here just to kind of give you an idea. There is no question in the world, or that the world is fractured. Nations, families, and individuals all experience a broken and fallen world in which Satan maintains strongholds of power. But believers are to become free, whole, and mature in Christ. John Lawrence Sanford and Mark Sanford bring understanding and reconciliation between the disciplines of deliverance and inner healing. They correct misunderstandings, identify abuses, and present direction for using both ministries effectively. With clear, informative chapters and multiple appendixes full of scriptural references, Deliverance and Inner Healing is the one-stop source for both theoretical and practical application of deliverance and inner healing today. Well, there you have it. So, um, how do I get back here? There. So that link right here in the website is for this book, Deliverance and Inner Healing. Another really cool, and this is going to sound really cheesy and corny. I promise it's not. So another really cool thing to do if you ever have a night just to kind of be by yourself is to rent that movie, Inside Out. Inside Out is just an incredible movie, and you can kind of see in that movie how the brain files away our experiences into basic emotions, and that's just a very basic look at the way that our brains work in that. And it's not 100% accurate, but it is it is a very uh, interesting view of how that works. One thing that we do also, that I encouraged our participants to do before the inner healing session, is I told a story about when I kind of went real deep and did kind of this huge inner healing thing on my own. I didn't really have any guidance or anything, but I was doing this extended fast, and I was it was during lunch. Like, I would get really hungry, of course, at lunchtime, and I would just take my break and go into this room I was at a college at the time, into this room and throw on worship music and like get on my knees and just beg God to ease the pain of the hunger. But while I was doing that, I just started realizing that there were these things inside of me that needed to come out and to be healed. And so one of my prayers every day was just a prayer of repentance. God, show me where I'm wrong. Show me what I need to repent for. Show me these things in my life that need to come out. And He did. So as you're walking through this journey of inner healing or inner work, one of the best prayers, again, that you can pray is just, God, show me. Show me. So looking through here, the self-examination was after lunch. We took off and did this kind of self journey, um, and then again, that's kind of like only at a training camp thing. Unless you are at home and you want to do your own self-examination, I would pray that prayer. Show me, God, what is it inside of me that needs attention, and then start focusing your attention there. Worship and prayer was just our night of worship, and then you have the John Ortberg meditating and guidance. Those are two spiritual disciplines that come out of that book, The Life You've Always Wanted. So again, I would highly recommend that book, reading that book before you go out if you can. Let's see. On Wednesday, we started off with evangelism styles. The session taught us different evangelism techniques used by many around the world. Now, on this, there is a resource over on the website, um, Evangelism Styles, right here. And this is just a blog of 6 different types of evangelism. And you can just, this is a real quick read, just, not very deep at all. So you can just look at those 6 different styles and see which one may fit with you. So you can take a look at that. Let's see here. We also did spiritual warfare. We did a session on spiritual warfare, and again, that is on here, right here, spiritual warfare. This is just a video on the spiritual warfare here, so you can take a look at that. It's a podcast video, which is apparently a thing. I didn't even know that before I looked at that video. So the spiritual warfare, let's take a look here. We take a look at the different elements that we'll face on the Bold Adventure and how they connect to a hidden story. And that hidden story is that, just like what Paul says in one of his writings, is that I think it's Paul. It may have been James. I'm not sure that our battle is not against flesh and blood, but of the powers and principalities um, that that are just behind the scenes. I don't know the verse reference. I sound really smart right now and spiritual. I get it. But you can just take a look at that video and just see how, I think that guy's from England, how spiritual warfare is playing a part in his church. And so really what immediately he goes to is the verse out of Ephesians, I think it's 6, where Paul talks about putting on the full armor of God. So it is a good video. So communication with Maury Buchanan. We learn what it looks like to communicate with others and other cultures and within our team. So the resource that I put on the website as far as communication goes is this Foreign to Familiar. And this is a book that you can buy on Amazon. If you don't have the funds, we can send this to you. We have extra copies here at the office. So if you need an extra copy, contact us at the office and we can get it to you. And this is an extremely helpful book for foreign travelers. So, and that's you, if you didn't know, on the Bold Adventure. So let's see here. Another one, let's see, Servanthood and Freedom. That is another 2 other spiritual disciplines that John Ortberg talks about in his book, The Life You've Always Wanted. Have I mentioned that yet? And that's an incredible book. You can pick it up. Risk and Crisis Management with Bill Pope. Bill Pope is our insurance guru. He is the man that takes care of us while we are out on the field. The Bold Adventure has this insurance program, kind of built side, on the side of it. Um, so I think it's shy of $600, but it covers you for the entire time that you're out on the Bold Adventure, and it's primary health care. So what you would do, this risk and crisis management, uh, it goes into, and there's a video on the website here, risk and crisis management, about how insurance works when you're on the field. And you can take a look at that video, and it kind of gives you a step-by-step process of how that would work. So there's that. If you have not, and the way that we do that here is when you get insurance, you need to pay us, and that has to be come from your account. So you can have people donate to you, or you can just give the money up front. But we have to have your payment, your insurance payment, before we can get you insured. And we have to get you insured before you leave for the Bold Adventure. So the reason that that is not built into the trip price, if we haven't talked about this, is that you have the option to research um, trip insurance for yourself. Now, we have gone out of our way above and beyond to get you the best possible insurance for the lowest possible price. But if you don't want the best possible insurance for the lowest possible price, you can go look elsewhere, and try to find it on your own. That's the option you have. If you are a person like me, that will overwhelm you. Um, and paying the price that we set is kind of your best option. But if you're not a person like me and you really love details and you love to get in and mess with numbers and policies and call a bunch of people, you are more than free to do that. But we do have to take a look at that with you once you um, once you get your own insurance, if you choose to go that route. And we do have to have you sign a waiver, uh, basically, and kind of saying that you are choosing to not take our insurance. And you're choosing to go a different route. So, if that's of interest to you, just let us know. I'm positive. We've done a lot of research and looking into this, that our insurance for the Bold Adventure is what you would want. However, and actually, that is, we ask you that uh, the if you're going to get other insurance, we ask that you at least take the type of insurance that we have uh, to another level. We want you to have at least the coverage that we have. If you're going to go outside of that, uh, we can't have you be any less covered than what we offer, and we offer that at the best possible price that we found. So, all right, that's enough of that boring insurance talk. Again, you can take a look at that video online. If you have any questions about insurance, talk to me, Nathan, or talk to somebody at the office, and we can get those questions answered for you. Moving on. Let's see, 360 Leadership. There's a link to I think it's a book. Yeah, it is a book on Amazon. You can buy that book if you'd like. It is a good teaching on how to impact our teams and the people around us, and how we can kind of be heard while we're out there. Cultural differences. What an incredible time! I have a friend named Melanie. I think I don't know how you say that. It's French, so it's Melanie in English. And she just did a wonderful time going through her experiences as a missionary and kind of sharing with that. So that was really just a testimony. I wish that I had recorded that this past training camp. I can try to get her to record like a screen video or something like that with her teaching. It is so beneficial. I don't have that available at this time. By the time you watch this video, maybe it will be, but right now I don't. Pack and hike. So this is really an experiential thing on the during the training camp. Um, you learn how to pack your pack, and you just kind of go for a quick little hike through. This past time it was through the rain, and it was really fun. Um, we do have a video on the website here, how to pack. Now this video is just done by a couple goofy dudes that are kind of funny, and it's a quick video, and I think there is a word or two in there that would not be rated G. So we do not, this isn't us. This is a video that we found online, and it's very useful. So you can take a look at that. And if you have ears that would be offended by a word or two, don't take a look at that, and go find another packing video that would be helpful for you. They're all over the internet. So let's see. A Well-Ordered Heart is another piece of the book by John Ortberg, The Life You've Always Wanted. All right, those are our training sessions that we went through. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask the screen in front of you, because you don't have anyone else to ask at this time. So let me see where we're going here. Let's see. All right, we're going to start talking about the different types of expectations we have on the Bold Adventure. So let's take a look here. Expectations. If we look into God's Word, we'll see in Ephesians 5:1, be imitators of God, be big. We look to the Bible for answers regarding our behavior. We are our actions in line with the words we speak. So if we look in the Bible, we have many, many, many different guidelines as to how to be a good behavioral example to those around us. Some would call that the moral code of the Bible. It's there. All we have to do is take a look at it. Paul talks a lot about our behavior towards one another and towards others outside the church. We can take a look at those writings of Paul, the writings of Jesus, the words of Jesus, the red letters, which were writings of others, not of Jesus. So anyway, if we take a look at God's Word, we have many different kind of ways that we should behave on the Bold Adventure. We can also look at in the different cultures that we are in for guidance. Now, every culture is different. I used to have a lip ring, and I was in Guatemala, and I had to take my lip ring out, and I haven't put it back in since. So there are different, stipulations. Guys with earrings, nose rings, girls with nose rings, lip rings, anything, any types of rings. You want to pay attention to what the culture kind of says for guidance on those certain little things. Tattoos, do we need to cover tattoos up? If you have any questions about these things, a good person to ask would be our partners that you're going to serve. So Miss Mary, Miss Sophia, those at the deaf school in Eden, Jamaica, the people in Guatemala, at the schools you'll be working with, and the places in Africa, wherever you are, the people that we're serving will have knowledge and information on how they expect you to behave and to act and to wear, what to wear, different things like that. The first thing that you could do when you got off the plane, after meeting them, kind of maybe the first, if you're a team leader, the first initial kind of meeting with them would be, of course, how can we best serve you, but also, is there anything that we need to know as Americans that maybe we don't know already? Are there cultural guidelines that we're missing because we come from a different place? So I've listed some of those things that could be here: earrings, nose rings, lip rings, tattoos, long dresses. So you want to know, like, if you're a lady, and if you're a guy that wears dresses, how long should they be? How long should your shorts be? So ask those questions. Be specific. photos, are photos allowed to be taken where you are? Uh, and a good guideline is just to say, hey, can I take your photo? Don't ever just assume that it's okay to take someone's photo. But it's good to know if those are things that kind of upset people around you. Um, Crossing the street, I put that on there because that's a more of a safety thing. Some places drive on the opposite side of the road. Jamaica, places in Europe, they drive on the opposite side of the road than we're used to here in America. If you come from America, so whereas we're used to looking, when we cross the road, left, right, left, it may be smarter to look on the right side before you step a foot in the road. Me personally, I've almost been hit a couple times just because I haven't looked in the right directions when I'm crossing the road. And just so that you know, in a lot of cultures, pedestrians don't have the right of way. That's kind of an American thing that we take for granted. Um, if they hit you, it's your fault, not theirs. So keep that in mind. Mission Discovery, as a missions organization, there are certain guidelines that Mission Discovery has set up to keep us all safe while we're on the trip. So, mission, you're going on the Bold Adventure, which is a program of Mission Discovery. So, Mission Discovery is our parent organization, and they have certain rules that we have to follow. Number one is modesty. Always keep in mind that modesty uh, is is kind of our number one goal here. We don't want to go places and just um, I said it's our number one goal. It's obviously not our number one goal, but it's a guideline that Mission Discovery sets. Our number one goal would be to share the love of Christ with others by being his hands and feet, right? So, modesty would be one way of kind of serving that goal, I guess. Um, Here are some different things that you could put underneath modesty: shirts with sleeves, or a 1 inch strap. Now, so I guess that would be ladies, uh, no spaghetti straps or anything like that. Uh, Fingertip length shorts. I know that some people's arms are longer than others, and so you just have to kind of go with it. How long are your shorts? Are they long enough? They should be at least fingertip length. If they're not, I may not even pack them in the backpack that you're taking since you have limited space there. Closed-toed shoes while working. If you're doing physical work, um, if you're doing anything concrete mixing, there's lime in the concrete that will burn your skin. I've seen terrible burns by concrete, so beware of that. But there are other, rebar. There could be rebar, rocks, all kinds of things. Wherever you are, if you're doing physical labor, we want you to wear closed-toed shoes just for safety. Um, any property that you're staying on, of course, respect the property. If you're around kids, don't let be careful of what you're tossing around as well. Of course, no graffiti on the wall. Don't write on the walls. I mean, I don't think that if you have been accepted on this team, it's because we have put trust in you not to do those things, and we kind of understand that you're just not going to do that. So. Um, Guy girl accountability. That's a big thing. So we don't want guys and girls, like a single couple or anything, to walk off all alone. A rule of three is a good rule to follow. So if you're not at least three people, if you don't have a quote unquote third wheel, then it's not good to go off alone with a person of the opposite gender. Um, so uh, just keep that in mind as you're on the bold adventure here. We want to make sure that everyone, we're not opposed to relationships. That's just not our deal. But we want to make sure that if there is one there, you have accountability and you have people around you that can affirm you in a godly pursuit through your relationship with each other. And not something that could lead to something really really unhealthy. So that's what we're kind of looking for there. Hydrate. Stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water. um, and one one thing that happens, as Americans is we aren't used to other cultures, so we go somewhere and and we get dehydrated really fast. The Jamaican sun, the African sun, if you're in a dry area, faster than you could get dehydrated, and that can cause some serious medical emergency type things. So and we want to avoid those at all costs. So um, if there is a medical emergency type thing, you always should have your insurance card with you. So keep your insurance card, and then keep valuables, including passports, safe. So you want to keep those things hidden away somewhere in a room, or in your backpack. Or I wouldn't keep, I would be funny about keeping my passport and valuable items in my pack. I would find a safe place somewhere to keep it. You don't want to make it easy for anyone to walk off with your stuff, and we don't think that anyone will. Um, but we want to be smart in case they have that idea. All right. What are your expectations? So this is more of a training camp slide. In other words, what do you kind of expect from us? Was where we were heading with that. So then we walked into more of a goal-setting worksheet. If that is something that you're interested in, maybe I will put it on the website just for like a download or something like that. I haven't done that yet, but look on, if this is something that you're looking for, look on the website. What we did is we walked through there's like a 8 or 9 or 10 um, section worksheet that it's just like questions, and it's talking about a goal. So what we did was we walked through um, the goal that everyone had of going on the Bold Adventure. So you have this goal of going on the Bold Adventure. I'm trying to look for that sheet now. I don't have it with me. It's got to be somewhere else. Um, let's see. I don't. So you have the goal of going on the Bold Adventure, but then there's all these obstacles, these different things that get in the way of going on the Bold Adventure. Maybe one, a big one was fundraising. So fundraising for the Bold Adventure was a huge obstacle. They couldn't see, a lot of people see this number ahead, and it's just too gigantic to reach. Now, each person that has attempted this has exceeded their expectations by a lot. And mine, the people that have gone on the Bold Adventure um, have so far uh, reached their goals without problems and fast, really fast. Walking through this goal setting worksheet uh, is something that kind of we can look at and say, okay, here's a goal that we had, and here was the problem with that goal. Uh, but we were able to overcome that problem and meet our goal because God wanted us to meet that goal. So I'll try to get that worksheet. I'll try to find it and get it on the website just so that if you have the opportunity to work through that worksheet, you can. Um, Again, it's just kind of an extra, as I would say, extracurricular thing. So I'll walk through the jobs of the team. Uh, so let's take a look at this here. These are all the positions that we have on the team. Our team on the Bold Adventure, our teams are set up to kind of, be in anywhere from 4 to 7 people. So the team positions are broken up into seven different positions here. So we don't ever like to go over 7 people because that is overwhelming for our partners. So anywhere between 4 and 7 people is just the perfect amount. So let's look at these. There is a team leader, a female team leader position. There's actually two team leaders. If there are males on the trip, there would be a male team leader. If there are females on the trip, there would also be a female team leader. So, uh, if both genders are present, then both genders will have a leader to go to. So let's read here. Team leaders are responsible for the physical, mental, and spiritual health of the team. It's the person with the most mission discovery or bold adventure experience, uh, or it's a person that we have chosen uh, based on their, uh, based on a lot of prayer, basically. Your team leader is somebody chosen by the leadership of Mission Discovery and the Bold Adventure. They report back to the office, and that's a key part of the person's job. So, there you have it. They're the team leaders. Then you have the treasurer. The treasurer is responsible for money spent throughout the journey. Each participant is allowed $20 per day for all food, lodging, and transportation costs. Now, this does not mean that we just hand everybody a $20 bill each day. This is, a lot of times the $20 per day, like right now, one of our teams is in Jamaica. We have set up with our partners there that we wire them that money. We wire our partners that money, and then our partners take care of all the food and all the lodging and all the transportation. So any of the extra money, that the $20 a day is already spent by us on the back end here. That's just kind of the general budget that we give you guys. Um, Other places, it may not be that way. Other places may only cover lodging, and therefore we would give the treasurer or the team leader the extra of the $20 a day, and then you have to figure out meal planning on top of that. So that's just kind of like we go over all of that at training camp. I'm sure this is just a refresher for most people, or this is kind of like gearing you into the method of the team. Uh, but this is something that has gone over at another time as well. So this is just kind of the overview here. So it's all food, lodging, transportation costs is in that $20 per day. The treasurer hands out the money at the beginning of the week and keeps all receipts and fills out the expense report for the office. Again, that section probably needs to be edited because the treasurer does not hand out the money at the beginning of the week. So I know that's a bit confusing. This See me if you have any questions. So the treasurer would be the person that's in charge of that money for the whole team. It's more of a team collective thing. So uh, anyway, moving on from the confusing money thing. That's really where my head starts spinning, is the whole numbers thing. So if you have any questions, I may be the best person to talk to, or I may not be, because it's just all kind of confusing to me when it comes to numbers and money and all that stuff. So um, if I was on a team, I would not be the treasurer. Or the administrator works with the local leadership in order to find projects to work on throughout the day, and works with the team leader to establish a schedule for the day or the week. So the administrator is the person that's kind of the go-between the team leader and our partners, and they kind of like figure out the best possible way to maneuver the projects and tasks for the week or the month or the day. So the administrator is the person that kind of gets the job done by assigning people, along with the team leader, kind of working together, assigning people where to go. The media director is each adventurer is expected to keep up with a blog, posting at least once a week. That's our goal, once a week. This helps in their fundraising efforts. So if you're going on the Bold Adventure, you know that uh, eight I can't remember how much it is, but there is a certain amount that is not expected to be raised until about 3 months in. That's when the final amount is due, at 3 months in, after you've already started the Bold Adventure. So the idea is that we can get you enough to get started, but then the rest of it would come in while you're writing blogs, through your blogs and your stories each week, through keeping your supporters updated. Um, That's how you would raise the rest of your money, the final amount. The media director should find internet connections and schedule times for each person to post their blogs and their updates on Facebook and social media and whatever. So, if you have a blog, of course, your blogs are being done through WordPress for the Bold Adventure. The meal planner works with the rest of the team to build a meal plan each week. If you're in a place that does not make your meals, or you do not have that kind of uh, the kitchen access, or whatever, the kitchen access. If you have the kitchen and you're responsible for your meals, then there's a meal planner that should be in charge of planning each week for your meals, and setting that budget and getting with the team leader and treasurer to kind of work out how much you need to spend on a meal. Um, the team should combine their daily dollars to purchase necessary groceries for the meals. So that $20 a day, whatever is out of lodging and transportation, is meals. The leftover is for meals, and so that's where the combined $20 goes to, or the combined rest of the extra goes to. So then there's a photographer. The photographer is responsible for snapping the photos and videos of the journey. They could complete videos or share videos with the team. Uh, a weekly email containing some of the best shots from the week should be sent back to the Mission Discovery headquarters for promotional and fundraising purposes. Internet is going to be a thing here. Hopefully, you have enough internet to get that process done. But basically, on the back end here, we have to continue promoting the Bold Adventure, telling stories from the Bold Adventure, telling your story while you're out. So the photographer is really that person that is encouraging others to take pictures and to take pictures for them, for their story. As well. So there you have it. There are the different roles and jobs that you have on the team. So for a team of four, you would have um, basically people dividing these things up into basically each person would do two jobs except for the team leader maybe, or you guys would figure it out amongst yourselves who would be a better what on the team. So there you have it. Let me see what else we have. Goal setting worksheet. What is your goal? Well, we don't do that because we don't have it. So um, that is basically uh, the end of the Bold Adventure Training Camp overview video. You should have all of the information that you need like I said, in the training resources section of the website. Just click on those if you want to learn any more than what you've already learned. Um, this is just an overview. Um, of exactly what kind of the breakdown of the Bold Adventure is. I hope it's been helpful. Um, it's really important to us that you have an incredible time on the Bold Adventure and that God speaks clearly to you. There are times when things are going to be really tough. We talked a little bit about conflict. Conflict in my life has been like a running theme, and I'm so thankful for it because I've grown so much out of those times of conflict. Then there's times of beauty, just times that just I am so grateful, filled with gratitude for what I get to do. I pray that that's your experience with the Bold Adventure, that each day you would wake up and amongst your prayer of God, show me, your prayer would be, God, thank you so much for putting me in this place, in Jamaica, in the Bahamas, in South Africa, in Amsterdam, wherever you may be. Thank you, God, for bringing me here. And thank you, God, for showing me your kingdom amongst these people. God, show us. Show us. May that be your prayer, and may God fulfill his promise for your life. Um, may he continue to show you how to get plugged into his kingdom. Thank you so much for being a part of the Bold Adventure. This story is growing, and it's growing to be an amazing, amazing journey. in what God is doing on this earth. You are an incredible example. I hope these training resources can be of some help um, for you. And most of all, I just pray that God would continue uh, to bring you closer to Him. All right. We'll talk to you later. Blessings, grace, and peace.